Hi everybody, Dr. Bill Crawford here, psychologist, speaker, author of 4 books, host of 2 PBS specials. Here today to talk about the experience of listening. There's a quote that I'm using that I think might help us bring a new perspective to this experience. It's from DJ Kaufman. It says, "Wisdom is the reward for listening all those times when we would have preferred to talk." I love that because I think it really speaks to 2 things. Number 1, how tempting it is to want to talk. How tempting it is to want to tell people what we think, explain our perspective, defend our perspective. And yet, it doesn't just say that listening is a good idea, or it helps people feel understood, or it's just what you should do if you're a nice person. It says wisdom is the reward for listening. Like, if we're willing to listen to another person, we don't just let them vent. We don't just let them know that we're a nice person. We gain wisdom from the experience. You see, I think we've been told to listen a lot. First, we were told to listen by people who were talking to us and said, "You better listen." And unfortunately, that kind of puts us in a passive or powerless perspective, and it kind of paints listening as a powerless experience. And I think that's one of the reasons why, even though we know it's a good idea, it's kind of rare in our culture. 2, I think sometimes when people are telling us what they believe and we don't agree with it, we're afraid that if we just listen, well, they're going to think we agree, and we certainly do not want that. So we find ourselves afraid of feeling powerless, or afraid of believing that we agree with them, and those fears, those concerns, those worries have us start talking and start defending our perspective. But unfortunately, when they're defending theirs and we're defending ours, it's just 2 people talking at each other. No one is really listening because listening is not valued. I'm going to suggest we take Mr. Kaufman's quote to heart and recognize that there is wisdom in the process of listening. How is that? Well, when we're willing to listen, we learn more about what's important to the other person. That is the key to their cooperation. Now, one of the keys to our success is to recognize that there's a difference between understanding and agreement. We can understand that if certain people see a certain situation this way, they're going to have a certain reaction to it. They're going to feel upset if they feel that we don't care for them, or we think they're wrong. That may not be the case. That may be a misunderstanding. But when we try to tell them that they're wrong for thinking we're wrong, here we go again. We're caught in that conflict. But if we're willing to listen and gain the wisdom of what's important to them, we can then say, "Oh, okay, so you're thinking this, this, and this. Did I get it right?" See, that's a question that hardly anybody ever hears. Sometimes they don't believe that we want to get it right. We just want to tell them how we're right. So if we can kind of make sure that we've heard them, let them know what we've heard, and ask that question, "Did I get it right?" They're going to say one of 2 things, either yes or no. If they say yes, now we know we've got what's important to them, and they know that we care enough to listen. That makes them more open, more receptive. If they say no, then there's something we want to get, because there's a bit of wisdom in there that we have missed. When we have that bit of wisdom, we can combine what's important to them with what's important to us and begin to frame a future perspective, an agreement, a way of moving forward that has something in it for both of us. That is critical to reaching solutions. Because when we get into an either-or, who's right debate, even if we win and they lose, we lose. Because they walk away from the interaction feeling like a loser, feeling resentful that nothing that was important to them was included in the solution. And that lays a foundation for resentment in future interactions. I'm going to suggest this willingness to listen for the wisdom that we get, the good information about what's important to them. Taking that and then combining that with what's important to us can help us be more influential in all our relationships. It allows us to be more wise. It allows us to be more persuasive, but not in a way that's forcing our perspective on people, but in a way that's combining our perspective. there is a magic word that I've talked about before. Because a lot of people will say, learn that listening is a good idea. So they'll listen and say, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but... It's kind of like going up to a member of your family saying, you know, I really love you, but... That word but negates anything that comes before it. If we can say, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I've got some thoughts about that as well. But let me make sure I got it right. So you're saying this and this and this. Did I get it right? Okay. And let's also combine this. So now we're combining perspectives to get to that third perspective, as Stephen Covey talks about, the one that has something in it from both of us. But we've got to have that wisdom, and we've got to see listening as a way of gaining that wisdom. I hope you're finding these videos valuable. I am having a wonderful time bringing them to you. If you do, please hit the like button. You know how Google and YouTube love to see people hitting the like button. They recommend the videos to others as a result of that. If you have a comment, please leave it below, or a question, please let me know. I am notified when you do, and I love to hear what you think. And of course, if you have any questions, let me know, and I will certainly respond to them. If you would like me to come and do a presentation for your organization about the value of listening, being influential with others, dealing with stress, leadership, customer service, whatever issue that your organization wants to be better at, more influential with, I would love to come and do that. Just go to my website, billcrawfordphd.com, or just Google Bill Crawford and I'll come up on the first page. Hit the contact button, let me know what you think, and I would love to talk with you about that. In the meantime, here's to you bringing more clarity, confidence, and creativity to everything you do. Clarity about the value of listening, being able to listen with confidence, and then being able to take what you hear, combine it creatively with what you believe, and move forward. Clarity, confidence, and creativity in everything you do, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.